Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so playoff thoughts. We got time. Nothing but time since it's about an hour before any games start. We can start talking about a few of them. So, the Miami Heat game, Atlanta Hawks. They've had Trey Young's number to no end. He has had struggle after struggle after struggle. We're talking turnovers and missed shots. It's been horrific. And it's a theme across the playoffs right now that some of your favorite players are just not playing well. And I think the reason is because it's a return of defense into the NBA. Some of these guys have been able to enjoy years and years and years of teams being lackluster defensively across the league. This year, it's kind of hard to figure out who the best team in the league is in terms of the defensive side. You look at the Boston Celtics, you look at the Golden State Warriors. They're playing some hellacious defense. Obviously, these Miami Heat are fantastic defensively. Um, you know, it just goes on and on and on. So at this point, I'm looking at this game, and I think Trey Young is going to continue to struggle. I don't think that the game plan is going to change for the Miami Heat. They have big guards and big players to put on him. They've studied him, and they know what he's going to do. And that's pretty much what it is. These superstars have been studied. They've had their games picked apart by analytics teams. And at this point, they have defensive schemes that they have, pretty much worked to perfection in practice. And now you're seeing in the playoffs those schemes work themselves out. And with players getting taller and longer and stronger and just overall smarter, yeah, KD is getting a scheme tossed at him, and so is Trey Young. So at this point, you just hope that you'll see those players bounce back, just for the sake of what it is that you're watching. If you're rooting for those teams, obviously you need those players. But I think the teams that are going to have depth, or teams, as I said, that are going to be able to switch styles and kind of deviate from those players and find other weapons to just dominate with, are going to be the teams that succeed. Teams like Memphis, Phoenix, Miami, once again, Boston. Those are the teams that I think really have an advantage on most of these other teams. Golden State, obviously, because they have the ability to reach into their bench and change things around. Memphis is also in mind with that. So, Miami being one of those teams, you just look at Atlanta and say, I think they can do a few things if they were to reach in their bench. But it seems like they've been reluctant to do so through two games, and they've struggled because of it. Now, you've had some good things happen from Bogdanovich and a few other players. Obviously, Onyeka Okongwu has played well in the paint, but you need more out of more people, and you can't get that unless you play them. So, in this series, I'm looking to see if Atlanta makes some adjustments. They're obviously headed back home, and I know the atmosphere will be jumping, but that hasn't really boded well for a lot of teams in these playoffs. They go into their own arenas and they're getting beat. So, Trey Young is a spirited player. He's very much prideful and expects greatness of himself, and he struggled to no end. And judging by what I've seen from him from afar, I'd imagine he hasn't had much sleep since that previous game. I'd imagine he's thinking about every one of those turnovers and every one of those missed shots. I've always said Trey Young's game is fantastic because he can mix both passing and scoring into his game at extremely high levels. So can KD. I think they both need to turn to passing. I think they both need to be looking to be facilitators to get themselves some space out there defensively. I don't think they need to be doing too much dribbling. I think they need to be looking for weak side players that are looking to steal the ball from them, because I'm noticing that's happening a lot. And I think Trey Young just needs to rearrange his thinking a bit, because what he's used to doing is what they're looking for him to do. And they, like I said, these players are huge. So you got a guy like Kyle Lowry just hounding you, and then they put a Oladipo if they choose to. Obviously, they can throw Jimmy at you all night if they want. It's just a million different things that Miami can do to Trey Young. And since he's a smaller guy, it's only but so much he can handle. Now, I think it's time to ramp up focus on John Collins if you're the Atlanta Hawks. He's been out for a couple weeks. but he's back now, and he's been back for a few games. He's a player who gives you a lot of scoring. He really complements Trae Young a lot. With him being a big down there, obviously Capella is still out. Yeah, they need him to ramp it up and have a big game tonight if they're going to have any chance of winning. So I'm looking for him to kind of step it up. And, you know, it's a tough thing tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. Miami's game travels. It ain't just that they play well on the road. That definitely is to be expected tonight as well. So with the ability that they have and the focus that I'd expect should be coming from Jimmy Butler, it's going to be very rough on Atlanta. Now, the thing is, Bam Adebayo is questionable for this particular matchup. Now, I can see the fruit in maybe sitting him all entirely, since they definitely don't have, my mind goes blank, as you guys know, but Capella out there. Given that Capella is absent, you can definitely see yourself buying yourself a little time there and maybe letting him heal. So I think that's the move they should do. And, if they lose this game, you're up 2-1 and have a firm understanding of what works against this team. And in my opinion, it's up to the coaching staff of Atlanta to figure out how best to attack this team differently. As long as they're going to continue to lean on Trae Young, he's going to struggle. That's just what it is. And I look at Atlanta and say, you have the weapons. I've always said that. They have plenty of weapons. They just got to dig in their bench, trust some guys, and give them the experience. Because I'm willing to bet if you switch it up and Miami's looking at you to do certain things, that adjustment will not be something that will probably be easy for them to transition to. But if you give them one style, only one style, yeah, they're gonna learn it and they're gonna beat you. So that's what it is. That's what I expect to see. Honestly, I'm not picking Atlanta to win this game, even though normally I would in situations like this. Obviously, with Bam being questionable or at the very least less than 100%, you'd imagine that's going to affect the Miami Heat to some degree. But they're getting so much out of so many people at this point that you'd imagine their game is going to travel. I'm looking at Tyler Hero, seeing what he's going to be doing in this game. I haven't heard as much about him in these playoffs. I know a lot of attention's been on guys like Jimmy Butler and, of course, Duncan Robinson going for 8 threes in Game 3, I believe that. Was that Game 2? I believe that was. So when you have players that can light you up to that degree, you know what I mean? It's just darn near impossible. I'm just going to be honest with you. Without Atlanta's full team, especially without Clint Capella in the paint getting easy buckets and rebounds, it's tough, man. It's just very tough. So, maybe they pull it out. Hey, home court advantage can't help for some teams, but if the trend continues, struggling teams are going to, these teams that have really good schemes and good defensive players, they're tending to continue to have success on the road. So we will see. And that's what I got to say, man. I'm going to do a little homework on these other games as well and get back to you on them too. BDL 44. Peace.